Good morning, students. Today we will discuss about the powers and functions of Prime Minister. So before going to discuss this topic, I would like to highlight some important points which are related with this topic. So at first, I would like to mention the name of the country, England. Okay. So this concept or idea of Prime Minister was originated in England, and later on, our Constitution borrowed this concept. And at present, we have parliamentary system of government where Prime Minister is the head of the country. So please keep in mind this name, England, where this concept was originated. Number two. Now we are going to discuss some important statements of renowned writers, philosophers, politicians. All right. So at first, I would like to mention the name of that person. His name is Lord Morley. So he was a renowned writer and politician, and he stated that Prime Minister is primus inter pares, which means first among equal. So what does it mean? First among equal. It means Prime Minister is the head of the government. He is the decision maker, and he is on the same level as other minister in the cabinet, but he has more power and responsibility than other minister. That's why he has been considered as primus inter pares. And let me tell you one thing: this primus inter pares is a Latin phrase. All right. Now number three. Now we are going to discuss the next statement of renowned writer, and his name is Sir William Vernon. Please remember this name, Sir William Vernon. He was a writer, and he stated that moon among stars. So here he compares Prime Minister with moon. So as we know that, just now I told you the Prime Minister is head of the government. He is the decision maker, and every decision, every plan and policy depends on his decision. So it wouldn't be exaggerate to say that all the policy, all the plans revolve around him, and that is the reason he has been considered as the moon among the stars. Number four, Harold Lasky. He was also a very renowned figure. He was a renowned politician, a writer, and he stated that PM or Prime Minister is the pivot of the system of government. So I have mentioned a term, pivot. It means Prime Minister is the foundation, okay, foundation of the government. So every decision, as I've told you, every decision, every plan and policy depends on him. That is why he has been mentioned, or he has been considered as the pivot of the government, of the system of the government. And now, number fifth point is Jawaharlal Nehru. As we know that he was the first Prime Minister of India, and according to him, Prime Minister, PM, is the linchpin. Linchpin. It's a phrase. Linchpin of the government, which means the government is the important part of the government. Without Prime Minister, the government cannot perform their tasks. So these are the important statements of these renowned political thinkers, philosophers and writers. Okay, now the next point, number 6. The Prime Minister is appointed by the President. It's very, very important for you to know that Prime Minister, I'm telling you once again, the Prime Minister is appointed by the President. Appointed by the President. Okay. And the last point, number 7. Our Constitution has described the power, role and functions of Prime Minister, and according to Article 74 Clause 1, there shall be a council of ministers with PM as head. So please bear in mind this article, Article 74 Clause 1. It says that there shall be a council of ministers with PM as head. So it means the Prime Minister is all in all. He is the head of the government. He is a decision maker. Every decision, every plan and policy depends on his decision. So these are the important points which are related with this topic, Prime Minister. Now we are going to discuss the main topic of the day, that is the powers and functions of Prime Minister. Number 1 point is head of the government. Head of the government. And in Nepali, हामी यसलाई भन्छौँ शासनाध्यक्ष. शासनाध्यक्ष. So one thing in this connection, I would like to tell you one thing, that all the appointments of dignitaries such as Attorney General, Chairman of Planning Commission, Judges of High Court and Supreme Court, all these appointments are made by the President. But President can appoint these dignitaries only on the recommendation, suggestion and advice of Prime Minister. So here we see that the real power, I'm using this term, real power, the real power lies in the hands of Prime Minister. So sometimes we say that Prime Minister is the real executive. Alright, so mind that he is the real executive, whereas President is the nominal executive. So please make a note of it, that Prime Minister is the real executive. So On the recommendation of Prime Minister, President appoints number one, Attorney General, or we can say that Prime Minister appoints directly or indirectly Attorney General, number one. Number two, judges of Supreme Court and High Court. All right. Number three, state governor. All right. Number four, ambassadors and the high commissioners, etc. All right. So let me repeat it once again for you. Prime Minister appoints Attorney General, judges of Supreme Court and High Court, state governor, ambassadors, high commissioners, etc. Okay, now let me tell you one thing, that appointment authority of these dignitaries is depend on president. The president is the appointment authority of the government, but Prime Minister's recommendation, his suggestion and his advice is needed for this appointment. Mind that. So Attorney General, judges of Supreme Court and High Court, state governor, ambassadors and high commissioners, etc. These dignitaries are appointed by the president on the recommendation of Prime Minister. So this is the first function and power of the Prime Minister. Okay, now the next important functions of Prime Minister is, he is the leader of the cabinet. Leader of the cabinet. Okay, so here he distributes or he allocates various portfolios to the ministers. So being a leader of the cabinet, at first he distributes or he allocates or he reshuffle various portfolios to the ministers depending upon their capability and efficiency. Number two, he presides over the meeting of the cabinet. Presides over the meeting of the cabinet and discuss about the issues. All right. So number two, he presides over the meeting of the cabinet and discuss about the issues. All right. And number three, chairman of the cabinet. So as the chairman of the cabinet, he can influence the decision taken by the house or decision taken by the cabinet. So these are the important powers and functions of Prime Minister. Number one, let me repeat once again for you. He allocates various portfolios to the minister depending upon their efficiency, capability. Number two, he presides over the meeting of the cabinet and discuss the important issues of the country. Number three, he is the chairman of the cabinet and he can influence, he can change the decision taken by the cabinet. All right. And the next power and function of Prime Minister is link between president and cabinet. All right. So it means he act as a mediator. All right. He act as a mediator between president and cabinet. Number one, first point. Next point, he communicate to communicate to president. All right. He communicate to president regarding the issues, the policy, the decision taken by the cabinet. And the third point, he communicate the same thing. He communicate to president regarding the administration and affairs of the government. So let me repeat it once again. He act as a mediator between president and the cabinet. The first point. Next point, he communicate to the president regarding the decision and policy made by the cabinet. And number 3 point, he communicate to the president regarding the administration and affairs of the government. Okay, now the number 4, leader of the parliament. So as we know that Prime Minister is the head of the government. So he determines, as a chairperson or the chairman of the cabinet, he determines dates of the meeting. Okay. Number 2, he can dissolve or summon the session of the parliament. Mind that. So he can dissolve or summon the session of the parliament, but out here is a very confusing because president has the power to summon or dissolve the session, but out here we can see that Prime Minister recommends or suggests the president to prorogue or to dissolve the house. So here we can see that the power lies in the hands of Prime Minister. So I've told you several times that the Prime Minister is the real executive. So we can see that he acts as a real executive in the government. Number 3 point is that he announced important policy of the government. All right. So number 3 function is he announced the important policy of the government. And number 4, he informed the House about the intention of the government. Intention of the government. Alright. So in this connection, I would like to give an example. Recently, our Honorable Prime Minister took a crucial decision, and we know that the reason behind this decision is to save the life of the millions of people. No doubt, like we are suffering a lot, government is facing lots of problems. However, this decision is it's a historical decision of the millennium, and at least I can say that because of this decision taken by the government, at least the infection rate and death rate is very less in India as compared to other countries. All right, so credit goes to our Prime Minister, and it is just an example only. All right, so these are the important functions. Being a leader of the Parliament determines the dates of meeting, dissolve or summon the session of the Parliament, announce important policy of the government, and number 4, inform the House about the intention of the government. All right, and the last important powers and functions of the government is chairman of the Planning Commission. Number 5, chairman of the Planning Commission. Okay, so he is, the Prime Minister is an ex officio or ex officio. So ex officio means nominal. Okay, naam matra ho. He is an ex officio chairman of Planning Commission. Number 1. Number 2, Planning Commission takes decision. Okay, this commission takes a decision under the supervision of Prime Minister. All right, so number 1, he is an ex officio chairman of Planning Commission, which means he is a nominal. All right, nominal chairman of this commission. Number 2, this planning commission takes decision under the supervision of Prime Minister, and number 3, and this commission function under the leadership of Prime Minister. All right, so this commission works or function under the leadership of Prime Minister. So these are the important powers and functions of Prime Minister, and please make a note of it. This question is very, very important for you for your higher secondary examination. All right, and see you in next class, and God bless you. Take care and stay safe. Thank you so much.